Hey everybody, Thomas Brown, welcome back to another video. In this one, I want to talk about how through meditation, we can learn to develop a tolerant attitude. And what I really appreciate about this process is that that attitude starts with developing a sense of tolerance for yourself. We learn when we start doing this how much we overconnect to our thinking. At first, we believe that we're everything that the mind produces, right? When the mind says that we're not good enough for something or we didn't do something correctly, we start to tie into that. And if we're hearing too much of the same thing, then we'll start to over identify with it. But through practice, we really learn that we're not those thoughts at all. We get a deeper understanding just how the mind is a thought generating machine, but we're none of those thoughts. We're the person or we're the thing behind those thoughts. And the more that we develop that understanding, the more tolerant we are for ourselves. I find that it really boosts your confidence in almost every area because you learn to dismiss those. You learn to just observe it and let it move on. Now, of course, we're going to get in instances where we still feel anxiety about things, stress about things, but it's a fantastic tool to help strip that down as much as possible. And it's an ongoing practice that we're always going to be working on, which is rewarding actually in its own way. You don't ever wake up and say, today's the day. I've done it. I'm a meditation master. I'm the man on the top of the hill. No, it's always a journey. Some days are going to be better than the next, but it's worth sticking with because you're going to find that it just empowers you as a person. And as we learn to have more tolerance for what our own mind produces and how our own mind can sometimes be our worst enemy, we could start extending that to other people. You start understanding that other people are suffering the same way that we're suffering, that other people are constantly in a battle with what their mind is producing, telling them that they're not good enough sometimes, telling them that they don't deserve certain things, telling somebody that they feel nervous. There's so many different things that our mind will just hit us with. And not to say that you're better than any other person, but it's just a path that you started traveling down a little bit. And we're just looking over our shoulder and understanding what the next person is going through. And so I like how it starts with us and then extends to other people. When you look at people who are known for meditation, or you just look at the stigma of somebody who meditates, it's always this very calm, still presence. Well, I think there's a lot of things that play into that totality of having somebody come off that way. I think part of that is definitely the tolerant attitude that they learn to have for themselves that gets extended on to other people. And it manifests in being more patient with other people, having more empathy for other people. So it's definitely a great way of honing interpersonal skills as you connect in this world. So understand that this is all a positive part of the process as it comes to your personal development, which is learning to just understand that it's okay to be compassionate to yourself based on what you're going through. You don't have to identify with the thoughts that are popping up in your mind that are impeding your progress. You think about wanting to meet somebody new, and you're immediately peppered with this idea of what if that person rejects me? What if that person humiliates me? But those thoughts are completely disassociated with reality. Not to say that it's impossible, but the mind has no concept of what the probability is here. It's just telling you stuff. It could just as easily be telling you that that person would love to speak to you, that that person is just as curious in getting to know you as you are in getting to know that person, but it shows a different path. And when we learned that we could disregard it, and we could obviously move and operate so much quicker when we're going into an office meeting and immediately you're hit with this idea that you should be nervous. You start to understand, well, that's interesting, but it's just another thought. I'm just like everybody else in this room. And if I do feel some level of nervousness, chances are the majority of the people in this room feel the exact same sense of nervousness. The majority of people in this room are hit with the exact same negative thought when they're about to pursue what I'm about to pursue. And so that understanding connects us with everybody. It makes us more tolerant of ourselves and it makes us more tolerant of other people's paths and progressions in life. So, definitely a very positive effect that comes from meditation. Remember, the more tolerant we are for ourselves, the more it flows over to other people. So many things work this way. We think when we're looking into how we could be more caring, compassionate, empathetic people that we're just going to do it through an external way. We're just going to look at how we can see another person and interact with them. But all of these things I find work the other way around. It starts with how can I be more compassionate, caring, empathetic to myself? How can I fill myself and have that flow into other people? Because if you're just looking at it externally, then you're going to be giving to other people and you're going to find that you're depleted. But if you're following this process by how you're helping yourself, how you're understanding yourself, then you're going to see this flow over into how you interact with other people because you're going to have that same empathy for others that you're going to have for yourself. So I wanted to share that one with you. I've always had a lot of appreciation for that understanding through this meditation practice. If that's something that you can appreciate, or if you have a comment, I would love to share that in the comment section of the content.